Welcome to RNFC, the official Rebellious Noise Football Channel, where you'll find content such as goal hanging, live match reactions, as well as news and opinions on all aspects of the beautiful game. We will also cover some of the more cultural side of the sport, such as kit reviews, football nostalgia, and in-depth historical pieces on those who built the game that we love today. So win, lose or draw, make sure you subscribe before the full-time whistle blows.
Okay, so as you say in that intro there, Dan, win, lose or draw. Win, win, win. It's been a lot of wins lately, and we are actually talking about a final. I'm Scott. Over here is Dan. No, over here is Dan. And we are here for the Rebellious Noise Football Channel, a brand new channel based dedicated to football from Rebellious Noise. If it wasn't, self-explanatory. But what we are talking about today is the Euros and the final. And Dan, I tell you what, mate, I didn't expect you sitting there saying we're predicting an England final. So very pleased with that. We'll touch on some semi-final stuff from both semis and finals, obviously what we thought of each team's performance, and I guess who could have been finalists. And yeah, we'll probably finish up with a bit of a score prediction. And yeah, screw it. We'll be cheeky and do a starting 11 as well. But Dan, yeah, first of all, how are you feeling, mate? This is the morning after the night before, obviously.
Well,
it's not the morning, is it? But
Wow. I'm just literally, I woke up this morning and I literally just felt like, it's strange. I felt like, I felt like 10 foot tall as well. Just like how proud I was of everyone that was in an England shirt last night. And, we rode our luck at times, but it wouldn't be an England football team if we didn't. Conceding our first goal of the tournament as well, which,
that hurt. That hurt.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see us go into the final with like a complete clean slate. But all credit to Denmark. It was a fantastic free kick, and Pickford he did look a little shaky though, but we grew into the game, and England in the final, much like we predicted. So.
Well, we sort of predicted it.
We did predict it.
I mean, collectively, we did. We had this debate there. Check it out. If it's still fun, even though, if you want to see how right and wrong we were, quite a few of us from the RNFC team got together and did a predictions debate where we were basically trying to figure out, majority rule, and then that team will go through. And spoiler, we did put England in the final, and we actually said we'd win it. And I think that the argument for that was if we face a big... Is that your butt, mate?
No, it's some motorbike outside, obviously.
Oh, I need to get that scene too.
Yeah,
when I've lost my train of thought there because you're farting. Right, well, we were doing predictions and we said, look, the way I saw it was I didn't think we were getting through that first big tough test, which I think we predicted it might be France or Portugal or something like that.
Yeah.
But then it was like, well, if we beat them, then we could beat anyone. And we kind of got that. We did beat a big team in Germany. So by that same kind of thinking, I should be looking at this going, well, then we could beat Italy. But I'll tell you what, Dan, I'm not that confident. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be tough. Like the Italians, obviously, they had the semi-final they had against Spain. Obviously, it was strange though because Spain had probably like 70%, 80% possession in that. So, Italy are renowned for being a great defensive team, and they've not been conceding shed loads of goals either. And do you know, the only thing I think that will work in our favour is they've got two, they're experienced centre-backs, but they've got it's weird to say in football terms, old legs when, they're probably only like a couple of years older than me. Yeah. And I don't consider myself as old, but in football terms, 30, I think they're 35, are they? Yeah. 35, 36? I'd be like on the verge of retirement now. But, I think Chiellini and Bonucci, they're not going to like facing Raheem Sterling. They're not going to like facing whoever it is that he plays, if it's Foden, if it's Grealish, if it's Mount, Saka. They're not going to like going up against those players. And, what we showed as well last night was that we've got players that can come off the bench as well that have got that speed and that pace. And I think that could well be where it's won and lost, on the pace side of things. Because obviously Italy's forwards are quite quick as well. Like Insigne is quite quick. But then, Maguire and Stones, again, they're young, I guess, youngish.
And then even still, when you've got like Kyle Walker, whose recovery is just insane. The way he gets tracked back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, depending if he plays, depending on the system and things like that. But you're right. A lot of it could be one loss on the pace, and we've said all the way through really about how crazy it is that we've got such a star-studded bench and who are all pretty much in form as well. No one's really been like, apart from Kane in the first few games when we was wondering where that goal's going to come, everyone seems to be in form. So I don't know about you, but where I was again, the Grealish being shown on TV made everyone cheer. Did that happen to you as well?
Yeah, I mean, everyone went nuts when they saw him coming on and stuff.
Yeah,
but it was just kind of strange because like everyone's hyping him up, but it's like, has he really done that much? Like to warrant everyone's like, has he had that impact that everyone's bring on Grealish? It's like, but what has he done differently to what Saka would have done?
I think he's been just as good as a lot of the other players that have come on and done similar things. And you're right. We said it a few episodes back when we're doing post-match reactions. Like that. It's kind of like people just clung to Grealish, like he's the one this time around. Don't get me wrong, I love him. I think he's amazing. I think he has done really well.
And that's the thing, no slight on him at all. But it's just, it's
a little overhyped.
The fans I feel are overhyping him. It's like, just let him go out there and do his thing. It's like, everyone's like, oh, if Grealish doesn't play, England, they're not going to do well. Well, spoiler, we've got far. We've got to the final without Grealish starting a game.
Yeah, but like we said, though, the tactic of being able to bring him on as well is
exactly
great. Again, like we can't undervalue what he has done. He has done very well. You mentioned Saka there as well. Obviously, not got the goal, but created what ended up going into the net.
Assisted the own goal. There we go.
The own goal. There we go. That sounds just as strange, to be fair. But doing that, and then obviously,
not a care in the world about that one.
it was annoying though for me that Saka was the one taken off for Grealish because I would like to see them both playing together. But he's obviously coming to his own. Everybody's really impressed, and like I said, we've got a lot of players in form. It's just that Italy scare me. Like, they are really good, and I did obviously last year when the Euros got cancelled or delayed. I did do that who would have won video. If you want to check that out on the main Rebellious Noise channel, because again, even that's quite fun to look back on now. You see Van Dijk in that image. We thought we'd be around, for example. So, I did let Netherlands go quite far in my predictions back then. And the other team that went quite far was Italy. I put Italy in the final, losing to the Netherlands. Spoiler for that video, but again, go back and check it out. It's still fun. It's still great content. But losing in the final to the Netherlands. Now, obviously, Netherlands haven't made it, but like, even last year, I was looking at Italy and thinking, man, people are underestimating these guys because we all kind of forgot about them because they weren't in the World Cup, And then is it 33 games now they haven't been beat or something like that?
Something ridiculous. Yeah.
And when they come into this tournament, they've let a few goals in more than England, but still, that defense has been amazing. They've been so unified as well. They seem like a proper team, kind of like how we've been saying about England. We feel like a club side lately. Italy are looking like that again. I think Mancini's done such a good job, and again, they frighten me because the first two games I think they'd scored, was it 3-0 in both games? So like they were scoring for fun, while we were getting 1-0s and 0-0s, So so I don't know, man. What do you think as far as Italy's chances?
I don't want to be getting splinters and saying, well, it's 50-50. But no, obviously every Italian team has been built on a solid foundation, a solid defense. But I feel as though Roberto Mancini has just got them playing just so well. Like they're grinding out wins when they need to. they can go out there, they can entertain, and they can, as we've seen, win a game 3-4-0 or whatever. But then they've also got that vulnerability in them going the other way, which, in fairness, England haven't really seen as like that. They've got that much vulnerability going back. I mean, I mentioned it, I think, on the reaction to the Ukraine game, but we had they put not a graphic, but a different camera angle. So it's like one behind the goal where it shows the positions that Rice and Phillips were taking up. And it's like, it's those little bits that you don't see, like when the fullbacks and stuff are bombing on, it's them two that are just dropping in, filling in the hole. So I just feel as though with Italy, you got to feel, have they got the players that are going to be disciplined enough to be doing that for the whole game? Or, like, will the likes of Jorginho want to be bombing forward rather than just sitting?
Yeah.
Whereas Rice and Phillips are there, and you know what? I've got to give those two a heck of a lot of credit as well, because everyone was like, why is he playing Rice and Phillips? Why is he playing two defensive midfielders? And it's like, I think out of like all of the midfielders that you could have chosen, I think everyone was like, oh, it could be Declan Rice or Eric Dyer. It could be Calvin Phillips or like a James Ward-Prowse or someone like that. But
obviously a fit Henderson as well.
In that kind of and Phillips covering 15 kilometers on his own last night. Like, I don't think there was a single blade of grass that he didn't touch at Wembley last night. And, he has just been putting in some absolutely immense performances for England. I feel, for me, him and Sterling, I think it's probably a toss-up with them two for like England's, and Pickford as well for England player of the tournament, in fairness.
Yeah, you're right.
I think Kane's obviously come into his own. It's weird. Harry Kane has come into his own when it's mattered, like in the knockout stages. He's probably like, you know what, just let the others do the group stages. I'll just, when it comes to it and we need to get a goal against the Germans, who's going to stick their nut on one?
Yeah,
Harry Kane, mate.
And saying that, again, going back into the form and the kind of players you mentioned there, like all doing well, and like Henderson's fitter now, and like the fact that we've got Rice and Phillips doing so well, and then at 60, 70 minutes, we can go, no, bring on Premier League and Champions League captain, winner, you know what I mean? Like bringing on, we'll bring him on for 30 minutes to calm things down. It's like, whoa. But saying that though as well, in the Denmark game, I was a bit concerned when who was the sub right at the end?
When they took, was it the one where they took Grealish off and brought on Trippier?
Yeah, now I was all for bringing on Trippier, but I felt like bringing off an attacker to do it. But I felt like bringing Grealish off, because there was still quite a bit of time to go, told the opposition, obviously it worked, so maybe I'm wrong. But for me, I was worried that it told the opposition, like it was obvious that we were going to do that. But I think it should have been done in maybe a little bit more of a sneaky way of, we're getting fresh legs on. Because Trippier can go forward. You could have brought off someone that was like maybe more of a defensive mind. I don't know, that was an attacker, but everyone knows he chips in defending well. Maybe like if Saka was still on, he would have been the one taking that point. Because again, I feel like that worried me. Like it was basically like showing their hand quite early. I think we still had about 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, 10 minutes to go. Because I think I was saying that he was always going to come on like during extra time, because Trippier would be one of our penalty takers. So I think if it had gone to got more towards penalties anyway, I would have probably said he would have, because I even said to like the people that I was watching it with as well, and like people in the bar, I was just like, they're probably going to bring on Trippier now for like Luke Shaw, like when he was getting ready to come on, like. But then Southgate's reasoning apparently was that he was always going to take one of the attacking players off, but he didn't want to bring off Sterling because of his pace, because of like the balls in behind. And
it's strange because it's not a whole like, again, we've touched on Grealish. It's not a whole like, oh, why Grealish? That's not really. It's not him as such. It was the fact that he was an attacker that was brought on for a job. But I guess you could say he was brought on for the job. The job was done. We took him back off, brought someone else on for a new job. And it was necessary. But again, it's just that weird kind of like almost showing our hand early is what I thought. That like Denmark could then kind of like approach in a different way, basically judging off of what we had obviously done, and again, it would be obvious, but we could have disguised it as, we're just tired legs, and it's handy to have a fresher defender on, like you say, if you took off Shaw. But I mean, I can't. I'm just picking at things. That's what you do when you get to a final. I guess you start looking at things like that. Like, what can I moan about?
I mean, it was honestly like the second half of extra time though was like such a mature performance from England. Like the fact that, as Southgate said, it took them a few minutes to kind of figure out, oh, if we just keep the ball, they can't score. Which, yeah, they can't score if they've not got the ball.
Yeah,
but I think the way that we just kind of controlled it, it's like I'd like to see us do that a little bit more in games as well. Like get the ball down, control the game. You know, because we've got the players, as we saw with some of them, like when we were passing the ball about. You know, we've got players that are going to make those runs. All
Kyle
it needs
Walker
is just
exactly shy of the corner flag either. He just kept bringing it over there anytime he got it. You see, like Kyle Walker was like, "I'm going to the flag, boys."
Exactly. It's like, but the thing is, if the ball's in the corner flag near Denmark's goal, it's nowhere near ours, so they can't score from there.
And if it does come out of there a bit dangerous, then well, screw it. Someone's making a run in. Sterling's making a run. Kyle Walker suddenly goes from a defensive kind of mindset to actually we could nick another one here. But yeah, saying that, like. That is a change in England. I think you're right. Looking at this shirt here, that England didn't do that. And that's where we went wrong in 2018. You know, like we didn't like Southgate. And I said it a few streams back. It seems that Southgate is really just learned from like Portugal and France, as he said a few months ago. I think in the qualifiers for the World Cup, it might have been when he was just like, look, we need to grind out and win games, you know, like, and I think his tactic has been perfect, you know, like it's, yeah, I'm just over the moon. I'm so happy we're in the final, man. Like, it's just crazy. You can't underestimate how good this is. Like, to get to, like, yeah, people can talk about whether or not the penalty was soft and there were 2 balls on the pitch. I don't know if you want to go into that, but we're there, man. We're
there.
To
be fair, I'll be honest. I feel we should have had one in normal time anyway when Kane was brought down. I thought that was more of a penalty than the Sterling one. But then, what you got to say is.
Blew the whistle for something else though, or did they bring it back for another foul or something like that?
No, I'm not too sure. I don't think they get, and I think it ended up was given as a goal kick in the end. Okay. But yeah, I mean the thing is, yes, we've got a little bit of luck along the way, but then you look over the years, you know, 86 Maradona, hand of God. You know,
it all goes around.
It's you know, obviously we've had it over the years with all different things. The Lampard thing in 2010, the goal that never was. You had the Sol Campbell thing.
Kind of worked in our favour.
Yeah, you know,
Sol Campbell as well. Yeah, 98, wasn't it? That one.
There was 98. Yeah, the one where apparently there was a foul on the goalkeeper, which to this day no one can still figure out where that was. But you know, the thing is, we've had the fair share of decisions go against us over the years. Like, come on, like give us one at least, you know, and. You know, for it to come so late in the game as well. Like, yes, I would have liked to have seen us do it in regular time, but when it goes to extra time, as England fans, we're always like, oh, please don't go to penalties, because I don't think I could have handled penalties. But
even that first goal from Denmark, I was like, oh, because we hadn't scored. I was like, oh, and a lot of people had been saying, you know, can this England team come back from going behind? We haven't done that yet, and that's exactly what we did. You know, it was great in so many ways, but I think
the big word is maturity as well. I think it was a mature performance from the boys when they went behind for such a young team as well. Yeah,
definitely. And the way they handled it, like I said, they were mature. They kind of took control of the game at the end. We did everything we needed to attack. We did it collectively as well. Everyone was in on it. But like I was texting Tom, obviously friend of the channel, and he was really happy about it as well. And I said to him, well, my only concern though is the way we won. Like, I'm one of those when people say, "Oh, but you won because they went down to 10 men in this red card." Mate, that's part of the game. If we pressured you enough to go down 10 men and you to make a foul, bad decision, or an own goal and all that, a penalty. Oh, but it was a penalty. I'm never one for that. I'm like, they're the rules of the game. That's what happened, right? But so I feel that about this individual game, like the semi-final. Yes, we won it, but you know, we were grinding out a result. That's great. But it doesn't make me confident about the final, because I think if we had to, like, the 2 goals we got were from a penalty that maybe you could argue was soft or shouldn't have been given, some will say, and also from an own goal. Yeah, we put the pressure on to create the own goal, and again, it's great for that result, but it doesn't make me think. I really wanted to have a definitive goal, if that makes sense, going into the Italy game, going, that is what we can hang our hats on. Like, that is what's going to
like someone pinging one in 25 yards.
I feel like we needed one goal like that. Again, going into Italy, because again, no disrespect with Denmark, they play very well, and that's why we struggled and probably didn't have that moment. But Italy are a step ahead. You know, they are a step above even. They are a better team. So I feel like Yeah, that's my worry going into the Italy game now, that we didn't have that definitive kind of, but we did all the other things like, character kind of stuff, like say maturity and grinding out a result, coming from behind, no matter what, the ball went in the back of the net, didn't it? But yeah, I don't know about you. Do you feel the same sort of way with these kind of goals or?
I mean, the thing is, when we look at it overall, we dominated the game. We had like 20 attempts. I think they only had was it 6? I think.
Right.
6 attempts. So, I think overall, if you look at it, I think we did enough to win the game. It's not like we're not creating chances. So, and it's one of them things, on the day, Kasper Schmeichel had a really, really good game and was unlucky to be on the losing side. And let's not forget as well, we saved the penalty. The actual penalty was saved.
I was so angry. It was a poor penalty.
It was honestly, I think it's probably, I'll be honest, I think it's probably the worst penalty I've seen Harry Kane take. Now, normally, as soon as you see Kane step up, you're thinking, oh, this is going to the top corner. He's going to smash it. But
maybe it's because it was Kasper Schmeichel, knowing that he's probably took pens against him before. I'm guessing Tottenham probably had a pen against Leicester at one point. But, Kasper Schmeichel knows Harry Kane, so maybe that was playing in Kane's head.
Yeah, and Kane scored more goals against Kasper Schmeichel than he has any other goalkeeper.
Really?
Little factoid, 15.
Nice.
Do you know who's second? Jordan Pickford.
Oh, I thought you meant he scored more. Second scoring against Schmeichel. Okay.
Yeah, so Harry Kane, I think he scored 10 against Pickford so far and 15 against Schmeichel.
Maybe he's been talking to Pickford and goes, what is it that makes me score against you, mate? Why can't you? And then he thinks, oh, that's why I'm a danger. I'll do that on Schmeichel as well. But yeah, I was upset that obviously that was eradicated straight away when we got the goal. But I was really frustrated with that penalty. But again, credit to Kane for running in there, being hot and ready to do that. Schmeichel couldn't, get a hold of it. So
he was unlucky as well. He nearly got to the rebound.
Yeah. And what about let's touch on a little bit of the Spain game and what that will show for what England have got kind of coming to them. We can't forget that technically Italy scraped through by going through in penalties, Spain were very good in that game as well. The whole game I was like, I don't know who I want to face. I literally, usually you're like, oh, plucky underdog, get through, and then we can face you and hopefully quality comes through, and they can't do that twice. In this, there was no plucky underdog. They were both equally
two good footballing teams. Yeah,
I think Italy have had a better tournament than Spain, but Spain weren't that far behind. Do you know what I mean? They had an awful penalty shootout to get through themselves the game before that. Was it Czech Republic in that one? Or was it
Switzerland?
Oh, Switzerland. Yeah, of course, because Xhaka weren't playing, was he? So, yeah, but that game again, it was a really entertaining game that. And it was fun to watch as a neutral, but it was weird being like, I don't know who I want to win. And then you get down to penalties and go, I'm glad they're both tired, but I still don't know who I want to win.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't. So obviously, people know from watching the Ukraine game, I was actually in Scotland. So I was at the time that game was on, I was packing. So
okay, background watching or
the only stuff that I got to properly sit down and watch was I watched the entirety of extra time and penalties. And even just in that half an hour and the penalties, I was entertained by both these teams. And
first 10 minutes, mate, there could have been about 3 or 4 goals.
and that's the thing, that's what I want to see from the final. I want to see both teams go at it. I don't want to see this cagey 0-0. I'll be honest with you, I'd much rather see a 3-2 than a 1-0.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, if it was 1-0 and it's England winning 1-0, hey, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm disappointed it was 1-0, but we still won. It's like, no.
Even penalties. Again, I was saying earlier, with penalties, I don't like finals being decided on penalties. I think it kind of cheapens it. Not that you didn't win, but it wasn't even the game. Do you know what I mean? But another, Italy once went through to the quarters or the semis, I think it was, with a coin toss. So that literally took no skill. They went through, drawing, coin toss, went through. No penalties. At least penalties take some skill. But I don't want to win on penalties, man. I know it might be, some people might think it's poetic or something.
It's a good thing we're English then. We're not used to doing that.
I don't, obviously if we get to penalties, don't get me wrong. I want to win on it. But I just want to win 90 minutes would be, because not only the stress of it, but
early night as well.
Yeah, true. It's just you don't want to feel like people go, you weren't that good, couldn't do it, and yeah, it was only because such and such missed. Like they feel right to progress, but I don't want them to fight. Like when we beat, sorry to bring it up, mate, but when Arsenal beat you guys in the FA Cup final, 2005, just before a trophy drop.
I'm leaving soon.
But when we did that, like at a final, like that always stayed with me going, nah. Like obviously beating Man United was quite.
Was that the one that was on penalties when Vieira got the winning penalty? The one in Cardiff, that was, wasn't it?
Yeah, Millennium Stadium. Yeah, but for me, like I'll way prefer '98. I'll way prefer 2002 because we got the business done. You know what I mean? Like
I preferred them as well because they weren't against us.
Of course, but yeah, hey, you can't be picky. Look, we're in a final, Grant. I like to win really convincingly. Do you know what I mean? Like the fact is we're there, and again, like we'll get into our score predictions in a minute, but I'm not massively optimistic. I think I'm cautious with it because I remember, what was it, Euro 2012 when they beat us and knocked us out, and that was, or was it World Cup 2010? One of them. I think it was Euro 2012.
2012 when Pirlo did the little Panenka penalty against Joe Hart.
Well, Joe Hart doing all these crazy face stuff. But yeah, so maybe like that's worrying me. I know it's a long time ago, completely different teams, but you can't help, you live with this kind of stuff, like as a football fan, it just stays with you. Like the Germany stuff, obviously the England players didn't let that get to him and it was fine. So yeah, I don't know, I'm just worried, man. I just think
it seems like this is our redemption story, man. It's like we got
theirs as well.
But we got over that Croatia thing. Like we got over that Croatia thing.
Yeah.
That was done in the first game. Yeah, the Scotland game was, we let them have their victory, their 0-0 win.
Yeah.
And then, we've gone on, Czech Republic, Germany, like, we'd not beaten Germany in like a knockout competition.
Yeah.
It's like everything is kind of, even the Ukraine game, people are like, are England going to struggle because they're not playing at Wembley? Went and smashed them.
Yeah.
And then Denmark, basically like the people's team.
Yeah.
It's like, and we win that. It's like,
and is
it written? It's and it's 55 years, and to make people
since Euro 96. None of that would have happened. These nice little anniversaries wouldn't have happened if it happened last year. It would have been 54 and 24, which don't sound as good on t-shirts. So,
and it's Gareth Southgate as well. Like wearing that shirt right behind you.
Yeah.
Wearing that shirt against Germany on penalties. You know what? I'm not going to give him stick. He got the ball on target. He had the balls to step up and take a penalty when others shied away from it. So,
yeah.
And then obviously David Seaman had the opportunity to still save a penalty, but the guy smashed it top corner. Yeah. Nothing David Seaman can really do if he's sticking a penalty in the top corner. So,
true.
But
but I mean, even touching on that, like we said on the last stream, here, I had them up because I was like, it's 3 semi-final shirts where we remember all these tournaments fondly. They are, ingrained in our culture, everything around it, like the music and things like that. And I said this on my 1990 mashup kit review, actually. Check that out. And there's some more coming on this channel. Nice little cheeky plug for you there, if you like kit reviews. But yeah, Euro 96, like, I love it. But if we win this, mate, this stuff don't matter anymore. This only matters because we ain't won in our lifetime. Like, I was thinking yesterday, do you think Italy ever go, I remember that competition when we got to the semis? No, because they win stuff. You know what I mean? So, but then saying that, like, Ireland love USA 94 because what it did for them as well, So, like, there are things, something to be said for not necessarily winning it, but having a great tournament, and it mean a lot for the country, which all these things did. But now we've got that one step further, and there's one more step after that.
Can we say it yet? Can we properly say it's coming home?
Like, a few years time, I'm gonna be wearing Euro 2020 gear. Going, remember that?
It's either it's coming home or it's coming to Rome. One out of the two.
Oh, I know.
But
okay, right. Should we do?
Interestingly as well. So, my partner, her dad was actually at the final the last time we were in a final, 1966. He was 8 years old at that final. And then he actually told us a little, like, not a story as such, but he said that when he was in the army, people always used to say to him, like, never mind, at least we'll live to see them win something again. It's like, how many of them actually believe that? Like, you look at the generations of England teams over the years, and you do think, how on earth did those teams not go on and win
And
something?
even close to that, we all thought France was going to win because it was still the same great France team.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of us thought they had a great chance. But then, we had Euro 68, we had Mexico 1970, and like England didn't do anything there. And then, like you said, then we had all these great, golden generations and star players from your Keegan era to your Young Gazette era to your 96, like to the golden generation everyone talks about with Beckham and all that. But it's kind of like same again, going back on Arsenal. When we went invincible, I didn't think we wouldn't win the league. That would be the last time we won the league title for still waiting. Do you know what I mean? We had just got that was one of the best things we'd ever done. And you don't think it's going to end because you're like, well, we obviously not long after that, the FA Cup against you guys went to Champions League final. But even then, you're like, we'll be there again. Mate, we're not even in any European competition now. Do you know what I mean? So
not even that Conference League thing.
No, not even in that. But I don't want to be in it, to be fair. But yeah, anyway, this ain't
Sacco's representing you guys in the Euro, so there you go. Hold on to that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm happy about that. He's done well. Right. So, okay, should we get into predictions, or do you want to do starting 11 first? What would you like to do?
Do starting 11, then predictions.
Okay. Right.
Main thing is what formation is he going to go? Is he going to go? Is he going to revert to a 5 like he did against Germany, or is he going to stick with a 4?
I don't know. What would you like him to do? Like, what would you do?
What would I do? I would stick with the team that got me there. I'd stick with the 4. I would play. I think I'd still play Saka. The only change I think I'd make is I'd put Saka on the left and Sterling on the right. That's the only change I think I'd make because of crosses into the box. Would I go? I mean, Mount's decent because he's got the runs, but then people would be saying maybe Foden or Grealish could go in there. But I mean, I don't see that much is going to change. To be honest, I feel as though it could be. I think the only change he could make is obviously the whole Saka one. He could change Saka maybe for Grealish, Foden, or what's his name? Totally, mine's gone blank. Who's the other one?
Sancho.
That's the one, Jadon Sancho. Yeah.
So I've just brought up the starting 11 from the Denmark game, so we can refer to it. So obviously we had Pickford in goal. Then you had Walker, Stones, Maguire, and Shaw. Phillips and Bryce.
Yeah, that for me. That's all staying the same. 100%.
That's what I'm. Yeah, Phillips and Saka, Mount, Sterling, and Kane. I look at that and I think you're right, man. So, I don't think it's going to change. Saka's done really, really well, but final. But but I don't think it'll phase him, man.
If he's done that well to get us there, it's at the end of the day that they've got to. I know it's not just another game, but they've got to look at it as we're going to have 60,000 people behind us cheering us on. Every time you get the ball, they're going to want you to do something with it. And I feel as though Saka can definitely open that defense up. And if he can't, then, you give it 60 minutes. If he can't, you've got Grealish, Foden, Sancho, Rashford to bring on.
I think that's what I would do. I think I would. It sounds a bit cheap and a bit of a cop out because everyone's probably expecting all these different kind of answers and methods. But I think you're right, man. I think the team that literally did it. The only one I think is maybe Saka, and that's coming from an Arsenal fan, just because it's a final and I worry. But like you said, he's done so well to get us there anyway, and
you kind of want to reward those players as well.
Yeah, and for me, I think if you start like that, depending on how the game's going, obviously. But if it's going either way, to be fair, I'd still want to bring on. Well, unless we're like 2-0 up and it's like, all right, let's abandon a hatchet sort of thing. If we're still looking for a goal or it's 1-1, 0-0, whatever, then I'd do pretty much the same thing. I'd bring on Grealish, then I'd probably bring on Foden, and then if it went into extra time, that's when I'd probably bring on Sancho.
Because you've got 5 subs anyway now, or 6 if it goes to extra time. So,
because again, Sancho's not had a lot of play. So maybe at this stage it'd be weird to bring him in for a full game or be one of the early subs. I don't know. But again, what a great problem to have. Like we keep saying it.
And that's the thing. When you can leave talent like Grealish, Foden on the bench, ahead of players like, to be fair, like Sacco, you got to think, would he have made the team?
Yeah.
if it was like a 23-man squad.
Mm, mm.
You know,
I mean, his versatility is what always I thought was going to get him in. If he got in. And that's again, but so many players we've got are versatile as well, like in different areas. You know, just looking at who we had on the bench and players. You know, I haven't really seen many minutes at all, but if they came on, I'd still feel pretty happy with it. You know, so
like I think it was Calvert-Lewin, White, and Chilwell were the 3 players that missed out on the squad.
Oh, yesterday's one, yeah.
Yeah, yesterday's squad. Now, you know, I know we were clamouring for Calvert-Lewin to get a start at one point. It's like not even in the squad. It's like it's like Harry Kane's kind of found his shooting boots again.
Yeah. And to be fair, like we said before as well, like there's a lot of people they can put through the middle. Like Rashford can go through the middle. I'm sure Sterling can go through the middle. Do you know what I mean?
Sterling's done it for City when Aguero and Jesus have been out as well. So
yeah, true. But cool. Should we get into? We've been talking them up, but let's get into prediction. This hurts, man. I haven't even thought about it. I literally haven't thought about. It's too early, mate. We've got a few days to go. I'm probably going to change my mind a lot, but have you got one in mind, or?
I have.
Is it a heart one or a head one?
It's a sensible one.
Okay, do you want to go first, or should I go first?
So I will go with. I think it's going to be at 90 minutes. It's going to be 1-1. Extra time. Last 5 minutes. It's coming home. We're going to win it in extra time. 2-1.
I think the reverse. I think it's going to be 2-1 Italy. Either they'll do it in 90, or we'll cling on and they break our hearts at the end. Is what I feel.
I can well see it going to penalties as well, but I don't want it to.
I mean, again, we could definitely win. Any team on their day could, do a certain amount of things, So, and we're not terrible. Do you know what I mean? And they're not the greatest team. Like, I don't think they're as good as like France were, or Spain in their height. Like it'd been amazing, but until you win it, I guess then perspective changes. Though you start saying, "Oh, remember that great England team if we won it, for example, or that great Italian team," So. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to end it on a downer because I do think we could win it. And again, like I said, my predictions probably change a few times through this week. The more I listen to other people and watch other things myself, But hey, by the way, speaking of watching things, subscribe to the channel, guys, if you're new. Please check out more of our football content. But and give this video a thumbs up, little like ski. That'd be nice. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with I think Italy are gonna win and. I've kind of felt that way all along, that if we got to the final, we'd lose it because I would get to the final against a big team and I felt like we might lose. I know we beat Germany. I'll
be honest, I think my heart and my head would have gone the other way, I think, if it was like a France or a Belgium.
I think I'd be more worried about them. I definitely would. I think it's Italy are preferable over them, even though ironically they're already out. But yeah, I'm really worried, man. And I'm looking at it as like, obviously in the intro of this video, we got us reacting to Trippier's free kick when it went in and like amazing like scenes there. And obviously that was a great game until we went,
And ironically, you watched the game at the same place as well. And
I was
saw another free kick going in.
Yeah, I was like, no. But I mean.
But ironically, first time you watched the game there was obviously that the Trippier free kick went in.
Yeah.
England lost the game 2-1. This time a free kick went in against England. And it's the other way around. So
time as well, isn't it? Extra time. So
yeah.
It's written in the stars, I guess. But yeah, I think I am worried.
I think too many things are aligning for us now. I
felt like that in 2018 though, man, because I was like, we conquered the penalties. We've done that.
But this is Wembley as well.
Run. Yeah, I know. We do have that extra one and a better team, to be fair, and a more experienced team, having dealt with what happened in 2018 as well. But again, I'm just worried because how good Italy have been in this tournament, and they're not taking anything away from England, but it's one of those where you can go, I can see us losing, but I think see it winning as well.
And I think it's benefiting us that it's in 2021 because I feel if it was in 2020, I don't think we would have got this far at all.
Yeah, I don't think either. I was confident last year, and again in my predictions, I said we'd go out to France. I think in the quarters or something. Like if it took place last year, but I do think, like you said, this year the amount of players that have come through and kind of wouldn't have even got anywhere near the team sheet last time. It's really done us favors. But yeah, well, I guess that's pretty much it. It might come home. I'll still say that it might. But yeah, sorry, that's what I was going to say. I'm treating the other day, just because it might be heartache, as the final. Like, because when I come out the other day, like come out of where we watched it, everybody was going mad, just like it was in 2018. Like when I watched it in like Shoreditch, it was like, tooting the horns, jumping on cars, jumping on buses and singing and whatever else, everybody going mad down the street. It was the same thing last night. And I'm thinking that's it then. This is our moment. That was almost like our final. I know that sounds a bit defeatist, but like if we win that, it's going to be a massive bonus. For me, obviously on the day, I'm going to say different. I'm going to be like, we have to win. But at the moment, I feel there's not a lot of pressure. Like, I don't expect us to win, I think that's what it is. I expected us to beat Denmark. I was worried about them, but I expected it. I expected us to beat Ukraine. I kind of expected us to beat Germany. I was optimistic, but I don't expect us to beat Italy. So if we do, I'm going to be over the moon.
You're sitting there in Italy colours as well.
Oh no!
That's why I strategically chose the red England shirt, not the blue one for this one.
Oh man, I didn't think. And I had a pizza last night.
No pizza. I'm like, no pizza, no pasta. Even where I go for lunch at work, it's like Italian things. No, they are the enemy until
I'm literally having a pizza party the day before the final. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, all right, okay, let's stop talking about pizza. I can't not eat pizza. Come on, the Italians have given us some great food. Anyway, let's hope that's all they do. We can enjoy the pizza, but we enjoy England beating the Italians and having a nice pizza themselves. And you know what? Gareth Southgate did that Pizza Hut advert. I wouldn't say it's the best quality pizza, and an Italian would probably be very upset if you mix those two things up. It's not proper Italian pizza, but it aligns, man. It's written in the stars, like you said. Southgate's got a thing with pizza, so there you go. Maybe that's going to help us as well. But that is pretty much it. Unless Dan, you got anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
It's coming home,
and
hopefully.
Yeah. If you subscribe, it will come home. There we go.
We hope, yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, if you don't want England to win, if you subscribe, we won't win. I don't know, just subscribe. That'd be nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Dan, thank you very much for coming on the show. We have been Scott and Dan for the Rebellious Noise Football Channel doing the RNFC podcast. And we'll be back here after the final. Who knows when? Who knows how? Who knows what kind of mood we'll be in? But we'll be back here talking about the final and what happens. Either very happy or very disappointed, and then wrapping up probably a little bit, maybe a bit of a look back on the whole Euros as a whole, because it's been good so far, mate. But it could be about to get much better. Exactly that.
It could go from a good tournament to a great tournament in the space of 90 or 120 minutes. So.
Now I'm nervous. All right, let's see how it goes. And we'll see you after the final. Please subscribe and check
Good luck, England.
Yeah, good luck. Come on. It's maybe.
Come on, boys.
Welcome to RNFC, the official Rebellious Noise Football Channel, where you'll find content such as goal hanging, live match reactions, as well as news and opinions on all aspects of the beautiful game. We will also cover some of the more cultural side of the sport, such as kit reviews, football nostalgia, and in-depth historical pieces on those who built the game that we love today. So win, lose or draw, make sure you subscribe before the full-time whistle blows.